getting kills in the early game.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that I always kind of worry about with the Legion command. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest Legion commander fan in the world, but I hate it even more if it's off lane and we don't have some hefty damage behind it, right? This Legion commander wants to be able to get duels and win them. And somebody's got to throw some damage around. That's why Skye was always such a classic pairing with them. Here they've got Skye, they've got Queen of Pain. I like this quite a bit. They also have a hard carry to be able to use press the attack on in the Medusa, a nice frontliner as well. I feel like PuckChamp crafted something pretty nice here. That's my thoughts on it anyway. What do you think, Fear?
I definitely like PuckChamp's draft a lot. It's also the duel synergizes super well with their carry, the Stone Gaze. So it starts like a chain stun. If you manage to get the Storm or the Sven, maybe the dual duration's not enough when they're BKB'd, but if they get Stone Gaze on top of it, I could easily see them bringing down Sven or Storm in every fight.
Yeah.
But there is an IO, so that is like, QOP is going to have to be on like backline duty, right? Trying to make sure she somehow disrupts the relocates.
Yeah, so a lot of eyes are going to be on Mira and how he's able to play around this aggression, who he's going to be able to bail out, as especially since it's even going to start off with a lane where IO Slardar, we talked about this last series, obviously, a very strong lane. In this situation, it is going to be matched up against a ranged carry, so not going to be nearly the same oppressive lane that you often see with IO Slardar, sadly.
And I don't think Prelat's going to be sad about it. It's really not fun to play against IO Slardar if they're out of control as a melee hero. Well, they got a big block here too, so they're going to have deep wave momentum as well.
And should be able to get a fast level 2. A little pressure on the IO, start burning through some of that regen. We've got our top lane, which is going to be a Grimstroke Sven lane up against that Legion Commander Skye, which looks like we already have, sticks on both of TSpirit to deal with the constant spam that's going to be coming.
I know this TSpirit has a trend right now where they don't buy regen as their first items. Slardar started with belt and strength and the Quelling Blade and brought out the tangos. And Yatoro started out with like the stick instead of a tango, and they both brought them out. Just trying to get that little first phase, like first wave, sorry, like damage advantage.
That I feel like that's only really punished if you get into like some really bad bounty rune fight, or maybe some like the enemy starts with a tri-lane right away that surprises you or something. Otherwise, as long as your courier gets out to you, you should be able to still bring all the normal amount of regen.
Top lane, only stationer.
Alec trying to run the opposite direction to get out of that Inkswell. Damn, that was a lot of damage. Maposhka cuts him down with a stroke of fate, and that is going to be first blood.
That was impressive. Those aren't easy to hit at all. He's like, when he has the bonus move speed from overwhelming odds, he still managed to get the stroke of fate on him.
Yeah.
A little bit of prediction there. Well played.
Yeah, certainly already TSpirit off to a very good start, being able to not only get the first blood, it looks like this Storm Spirit versus Queen of Pain matchup is starting off pretty okay for Toronto Tokyo. I'm never sure, like, there's some matchups now. I think I watched a Leshrac, which I thought was fine against QOP. Shadow Strike, the new bit of regen, the heal that you get off of the higher levels of Shadow Strike, it allows this QOP to be so aggressive in some matchup.
XD.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this matchup
XD.
last series too, right? The QOP seems to be a popular counterpick to the Storm in lane.
Toronto Tokyo not doing too shabby though. Top CS so far. What is sort of the point of TSpirit here?
So they didn't draft very much team fight, but they drafted into Slardar IO. Which I think whenever you have those two heroes specifically, you're really thinking about playing side lanes. You're playing the pick-off game, right? Both heroes really excel at it. So I think their strategy is to try not in team fight into this Medusa as much as possible. Just get their Sven farmed, and then try to get pickoffs. And any pickoff in this game can turn into Roche or buildings, because they do have this Slardar for the Roshan. And oh, looks like I'm bottom lane, a little more harassed here.
And it's twice now that Collapse has been able to get on top of the Medusa and deliver some damage and force out the first time around a Nightmare. And that was before the treads were complete. Now the boots are here. All of a sudden, a massive movement speed upgrade from going from no boots to now being able to have full out treads. So if they manage to pull this lane back, it start getting really dicey for the Medusa, and she is not going to be ready to go jungle this early. So I'm beginning to get real concerned about this top lane. They're going to go in with, once again, the stun, Inkswell. Some damage to Malik. He's going to survive. In fact, if he gets a couple of hits on Maposhka, gives up on it, instead hits Yatoro instead. But they actually trade decently well there for Puck Champ. Oh, they actually do manage to get him. I was sorry. I was busy watching bottom lane. I was like, okay, Collapse is just trading some damage. This is going to be fine. But they managed to kill Yatoro. Big win for PuckChamp.
Yeah, on paper, I think PuckChamp should be winning top pretty hard. This Sven, and they are, right? Because they were aggressive quite a lot. But that's the problem with this Grimstroke 5. Every time you see this hero go into the safe lane, it doesn't harass. It's kind of like an all-in. You have to commit a lot. And most carries don't want to play that way. They just want to farm, right? So they've been trading a lot of region top, but it's been going in the favor of PuckChamp.
Yeah, I've never been the biggest fan of Grimstroke 5. It always feels so much better as a 4 when it comes to laning phase. Bottom lane, they just get run over by this Slardar. The Medusa is down, and bottom lane is now officially, I think, very, very lost.
Yeah, she's only level 4 now, so she can't even go jungle yet. No points in that split shot. No choice but to just lane it out. This is the kind of position you want to be in when you pick this Slardar IO. Around the level 4 mark, you want to make the carry feel like he has no choices, right? You don't want to jungle at level 4, but you can't really lane very well either because of how strong this is. The wind laces up, Sardar's even faster now. Medusa has to farm under tower or she's pretty much dead.
Yeah, and that leaves that bit of aggression, that bit of fear also means that the IO can leave lane at any time without having to worry about the Slardar whatsoever. So we already got some stacks going on in the jungle. And when he returns, look for another round of running at...
Yeah, back to your point on the Grimstroke 5 and why you don't see it too often is... It's just... He tickles, right? The right clicks tickle. It's not like a Bane that can bully out an offlaner. There's really no harass there, and spells are hard to hit, and it also forces your carry to commit to any type of harassment, which means your carry is not CSing, right? And as an offlaner, you generally have a better toolkit, and you're itemizing to pressure more so than carries who are itemizing to farm faster, right? So he just feels a little awkward playing in that, you know, defensive type of role when he wants to be aggressive.
Makes sense. The net worth-wise are actually doing pretty well on PuckChamp. As expected, the TSpirit is suffering to the Queen of Pain. Has had to buy, I think, a little bit of extra regen to be able to stay in lane. So she's about 300 net worth behind the Sven, being pressured by this Legion commander who's currently second in net worth. And doesn't actually have the phase boots just yet, so imagine you get phase boots plus level 6. If you manage to get the Sky level 6, I mean, this is where the fun's going to start for PuckChamp and where a lot of their momentum has to come from.
Yeah, for sure. I'm curious on what ability he goes for after the phase boots. Probably just a blink. If he wanted to go armored, I guess he would have already been building into it. And I agree with that. I think they need an early blink on him this game.
Alright, there's the Crows of Haze for the Slardar. Oh, Medusa still a bit of ways until we get to level 6. Again, as you said, just kind of playing under tower constantly.
Middle tower is under attack.
Probably will get an early point in that. Oh, looks like they're going for Grimstroke up here.
Managed to catch Maposhka. Maposhka just hoping to be able to land some damage there with the Inkswell, hoping for a neutral tonight, but Yoji secures that last hit pretty well.
On bottom.
There it is. Get the damage in. Oh my goodness, that mana shield They just ripped through that one so quickly. Young G is going to be able to respond, though. T-ping down and collapse. He's stuck. Caught in a dead end. He's now dead. Can they chase after Mira? No. Blink just not going to be ready in time. Still, though, a really big win. That should have been a kill on the Medusa. QOP turns the tides.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing really good. The only thing I'd like to see right now on PogChamp is this guy doesn't really need to be top right now. He should be collecting the mid-wave EXP. Because QOP has left the lane, right? I think the impact he has is very minimal top compared to the desperately needed levels for him to focus on these moves.
Yeah, he's really just not much of a threat until he does have that. You can see Maposhka already is ahead of the game in that regard. Is camped out mid lane, recovered some levels, now level 5 as a result.
Yeah, these guys are, you know, they're TI winners. They have a lot of experience. They don't leave any experience like left alone in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they realize lane experience is like the most important thing in the early game. Getting a kill like this is great, right? But like, it needs to lead into something, right? It's not that much gold. 181 gold, dead for 20 seconds. But if it leads into pressure in the tower, it's great. As long as mid lane. Oh, sorry, Sven, what happened there?
I was just farming the hard camp, and they had a really, really deep ward.
Top tower is under attack.
They just walk up there, or did they end up
Radiant
smoking that? I didn't see
structures
that.
are fortified.
Either way, it's a really good kill.
Yeah, I think they just walked up there because technically this ward that they have on the left-hand side from TSpirit, it'll only see so far. It won't be able to cover that ramp, so I think they just kind of like walked up the ramp and led off with the concussive shot.
All right.
Dire's top tower is falling.
A little bit of a tower trade there.
Side lane tower is getting traded away. And now you can see Toronto Tokyo setting up with Mira right now to offer the siege wagon push. See if they can maybe catch a hero out. The Medusa is probably not the hero that they want to go for, so they're going to smoke and rotate up to top instead. There, they might be able to find Young G, which would be a perfect kill. Chain back, pull back into the silence. The explosion goes off. The illusion rune was a nice thought by Young G to be able to get out of that gank, but the overlapping disables were too much.
You know what's something about Slaughter? How every Slaughter player builds differently. Check out Collapse's build this game. Like, I swear, I see so many different like combination of items on this video. Got the Mask of Madness.
Mask of Madness. That's an interesting one. So, do you think he's gonna break that apart for Echo Saber at some point in time, or he's just gonna Mask of Madness straight BKB? It looks like. Or
Mask in the blink. Yeah. Then I don't know. He probably won't break it until like his third item. But I think he'll just go blink. This just deals him insane damage if he's ever by himself, honestly. Even better if he's paired with Io.
Text. It's gonna be a little bonkers. Which means many a PogChamp can never really be alone anywhere in the side lanes, which is kind of what you were talking about, right? Is the TSpirit needs to be able to play side lanes very dominantly and not play for those big mid-game 5-man team fights. Inkswell gonna go, instead of going for the Skywrath Mage, they see the Medusa's a little bit low and they straight up catch her out. Young G, in response, trying to look to avenge his carry, will kill the Io, and they're going to be able to get the kill on the Maposhka Grimstroke as well. A dual win and 2 support kills, but it doesn't offset the fact that their carry net worth is stalling out. Stalling out just a bit.
Yeah, that's the difference of ideas too. This is like kind of a little bit of deja vu from last game where you see you bring 5 heroes mid from PogChamp, but Mask of Madness Slaughter is farming. Bit of a different idea to play Slaughter, right? Instead of getting the blink and feeling like you're on a timer to make something happen, he's just farming up a storm with this Mask.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a big part of that, right, is you have the superior, at least at the Slardar, like, I think you feel really good against Medusa, right?
XD. Stupendous!
At some point, if you have a lot of farm, yeah. It should be fine. But generally speaking, Medusa is one of the better heroes for Slardar. But right now, I don't think Medusa's feeling good about anything.
That's true. Eventually, that mana shield will help you be able to cover over minus armor, but for now, it's looking a little rough. They're going to be able to pick up Manta here in the next 3 or 4 minutes. I have to say, Legion Commander dual talent is so insanely obnoxious. We're going to watch Astral die. I just thought about that. If you guys haven't experienced that extra dual range from a Legion Commander, God forbid it's a Legion 5 who has like an Aether Lens or something. It just you know, you get so used to a certain range of a spell, and all of a sudden it changes up on you, and it just changes the feel of the game.
I mean, that talent made Legion a bit more viable, because Legion was always like just out of blink range, right, to get that duel, but now it feels like you always get the duel off. You have that dagger. The question is, are you strong enough to like win the duel? And there's a double smoke here, meeting on bottom lane, both teams smoked.
Uh-oh. Very awkward. Malik, not sure if he read. Okay, they do manage to at least get the duel onto Miposhka, winning that one. A second duel win, but they are going to be able to respond in kind with a relocate in. They managed to get the silence onto the IO, but they didn't have any lockdown left. Oh, and here comes the God Strength. Glass just gets ripped apart by Yatoro. He doesn't have the levels. I mean, he's still got the level 1 mana shield, so any damage comes his way, all of his mana pool is just gone immediately. Astral's going to be chased down underneath the tier 2. I don't think Collapse wants to let him go. He'll leave it for Toronto Tokyo to complete the kill. 7-9 down. The 5,000 net worth lead for TSpirit. Things seem to be going the same direction as game 1.
Yeah, Medusa didn't get her Stone Gaze off before all her mana was drained, so fell apart. Fuck this game a little bit for PogChamp. It's falling apart real fast. 6k advantage at 15 minutes is it's a lot. It's a lot of mental damage too, because you feel like you're supposed to be like even. You have the mid game hasn't even came around yet, but you're down 6k. The map is pretty much TSpirit's, and they have heroes like Storm, Io, Slardar that move across the map so quickly. Not a lineup you want to be behind against.
No, certainly not. Didn't they nerf mana shield at like level 1 and 2? I wasn't sure if that was post TI or pre TI. I remember there was like a patch that did that.
I am not sure if like the level 1-2 mana shield, it used to be like a big value point, and you're saying it's not as much. I'm not sure,
yeah,
but we're about to see right now if it does anything.
Yeah, he does manage to get off the Stone Gaze this time around with the Fiend's Grip alongside. He needs to be able to get in front of the Storm Spirit, but he doesn't really want to keep moving forward because he knows there's more coming behind this attempt, and his life collapse just closes in on him. He managed to kill Medusa, might be able to get more. Nice pick up on the Storm Spirit, though. That's a good kill if they can get it. Unfortunately, don't get the duel, but Young G is there to be able to finish off the job with the overlapping silences on a Storm Spirit. Mira jumping himself away. Collapse continuing to hunt with this Mask of Madness is just a terror on the battlefield. Nobody wants to go against him. If you're on PogChamp and you've already used some of your spells on other heroes, Collapse will carry through the rest of the fight.
Nice little DD pickup there for Sven, why not?
Next to Roshan, perfect opportunity with the corrosive haze. Very early Rosh. 17 minutes in. Malik trying to make a big play.
He had no duel actually. I wonder if he would have clicked it if it was up. I was like, yeah, don't do that. DD God Strength Sven. I think you want to duel that guy.
Yeah, especially with Astral still on cooldown for his Mystic Flare, just about to come up. Rod of Atos is also almost done. That's been another trend for this last TI, right? There's a lot of supports that don't have to get boots. The biggest one obviously being Weaver. There's another dual kill as they get Miposhka up to 30 dual damage now for Malik.
It was also like off when you just don't have to buy peaks either, right? It was just rushing Helm or Armlet. Seems that's died down a little bit, at least in this region.
Apps running at them, but not blinking. Kind of testing their resolve.
Yep, there's a halberd up on this Sven. Medusa's gonna find it even more difficult to enter these fights. Just a Manta. I mean, TSpirit is so efficient on the map. Like, they don't feel the need. Like, it's completely like night and day. Like watching this team versus like Na'Vi. Like, the way they play the map is like so methodical and smart, and as far as like efficiency wise goes, like they don't want, even though they have Aegis, they're not going to force him, right? They're still going to be farming. They're going to wait for the opportunities to come up.
Yeah, I mean, they still have another 3.5 minutes with this Aegis. And that's a threat, a constant threat. I'm actually never a big fan when teams get that Aegis and then they immediately like use it in some way. I feel like sometimes having the Aegis dissuades the enemy team from so many fights that it just kind of like naturally gets you map control. Whether it's like your carry being able to farm areas of the map that they wouldn't usually be able to, or the enemy team has to play scared of fights against you.
Yeah, the problem with the Aegis for a lot of teams is something might happen mid, so I'll hold my thought.
Radiant are scanning.
Sorry, nothing's gonna happen, so...
No.
A lot of teams, when they get the Aegis, they'll actually fall behind in net worth because they're so gung-ho about, like, making something happen, running at the enemy, that the enemy team just split pushes you, right? And you're just like, you have this Aegis in a fight, so you kind of stop farming, right? And then you get out-farmed because you have this Aegis and you're running at the enemy, and they're dodging you naturally because you have the Aegis. And so you don't really gain them net worth advantage by getting the Aegis in a lot of games. And you don't go high ground the first Aegis. It's like, really hard. Bane, though, oh, that's good. That was really good.
Does dodge what he can and allows the opening here for the Legion Commander to be able to get the call out onto the IO. They get the kill onto Mira and collapse a little bit low as well. The Medusa might just be able to get that kill. They will. The feed script over on the side here. Yatoro's caught out. He's going to come back with no God Strength. I'm not sure if they've got enough to be able to bail him out. Oshka's going to stick around, but immediately the nuke's swarming it, and TSpirit reads it. Okay, can't save our Sven here. A massive win for PugChamp. As I thought maybe they were just going to fall over like they did in game 1. But this time around, they punched TSpirit right back in the mouth, and they're going to be able to get some actual objectives for it, some real estate.
Absolutely. Like, we've seen this Bane so popular, right? Making plays in every series he's been casting. But that sleep was clutch. If he just dies there immediately, I don't think that fight turns out the same at all, because they're just going to reset. But they have to commit more to that kill. And that sets up the duel on the IO. It's a perfect fight for PugChamp. And 3k gold swing for them too, I think, there.
Yeah, I remember thinking going into TI, I thought Bane was going to be one of the big heroes of the tournament. And while it was picked up some, not nearly as much as I was hoping it was going to be. Oh God, what was that? Toronto, Tokyo. Daring to go up into that high ground and walk straight into Malik's open arms like that. A free duel if I've ever seen one.
All right, we got ourselves a game here. Here I was thinking, you're like, wow, the map's gonna shut off for them, but that just one play mid snowballed into another death on a core to a completely even game. And I actually put PugChamp's draft ahead if the game is even. This Medusa with farm, #1 net worth, by the way. #1 net worth in the game. With Scotty in a duel behind her, Medusa is good versus Sven, right? It's good versus Slardar. This hero can carry this game.
What would you say the timing is? It Scotty, right? Scotty against some of these melee heroes?
I don't think there's going to be a timing in this game where once he gets a specific item, they're just going to start playing super aggressive. They're just going to play the map smart, and they're just going to walk around and wait for Roche to get map control. And maybe if they get Roche, that could be a timing to go high ground. But for now, just get your Scotty and just let them come into you again, because they will. Your vision, I guess, is the best way to put it. Medusa can't get jumped this game. If she does, the Stone Gaze is like their biggest spell. They can't fight into the Slardar and Sven.
TSpirit at this point are certainly experienced enough to recognize that they may have caused a bit of an error, and I think they're going to take a quick break until they have BKB on Slardar, and they reach that next timing. Maybe they want to wait for BKB on Sven as well. have to wait and see, but this Legion Commander is going to scale up. 70 damage, 70 dual damage right now, hitting for 219 damage a hit on average. Might just be able to get another win. That is going to be a dead IO. In fact, they need to be able to get Sven out of here. He immediately tries to book it. The Rod of Aether stalls him up long enough for now Young G to get the follow-up disabled. StormSpirit does zip in, trying to stall out these heroes, and might just be enough. Young G looking forward, Sonic Wave, and they got him. Yatoro dies again.
Gratitude.
This game's looking a little rough for Spirit, because if you think about the BKBs, right, when they come out, it's not gonna be like this item that makes him invincible, right? You still got the duel, you got the grip, you got the stone gaze.
Radiant
And if that's what they're waiting for, this is better, right? I don't think there's any item timing that they can get that's gonna get them back in this game. It's gonna be more about making plays like this on the side lanes, getting some ganks, clawing their way back into this game by pickoff.
That's why they're just playing under the vision here in the high ground, probably waiting for somebody to come over. D-Ward potentially. They can catch Malik.
Radiant's courier has been
Malik
killed.
with the shard though. It's kind of hard to bring down. He's going to be going for back for a blade mail after that. What do you think about that? Instead of, you know, maybe go armlet, you can go BKB. There's some options there. What do you think blade mail is?
A lot of damage against Sven, but I think more than anything he needs...
Radiant's bottom
I look at
tower
his
is under
inventory
attack.
and he needs more survivability. I think a BKB would be better because there's a lot of magic damage from like the Grimstroke and Storm. Can kill him. Main problem I have with Legion commanders is like, I'd say he kind of fell off a little bit. He's okay, but I imagine him dueling a Sven right now. Sven has so much more HP than him and armor. But he's gonna have a hard time
Dire's
surviving the
top
duel. So
tower
whatever he
is under
makes
attack.
that make him more survivable, I'm gonna be a fan
Now
of.
fortified.
Yeah, I like the fact that you mentioned the armor on Sven, right? It's going to be
Dire's top
good
tower
returning
is under
damage against
attack.
Sven, but at the same
Dire's
time,
top
Sven does
tower
have,
has fallen.
if he gets off Warcry first, has so much armor, and
Dire
you're
are
returning
scanning.
physical damage for a hero that has an immense amount of immense armor upgrade.
Yeah, Legion has the shard, so maybe they're gonna play it a little differently in this.
Dire's
I don't know
top
if this
tower
Legion can
is
go in
under
first,
attack.
just because of how poor she
Radiant's
is.
bottom tower is
But
under attack.
sitting behind Medusa with a shard is also a very viable playstyle. And this Roche is huge, I think.
Dire's
It's really
top
big.
tower is under attack.
Spirit want to give this away. This is where you get into territory of Medusa hitting your high grounds. And I don't think Team Spirit, outside of the Storm Spirit, has the best high ground defense. They're pretty committal on their spells.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Pretty committal also means that having a second
Radiant's bottom
life
tower
on the
is
enemy
under
carry.
attack.
Pretty problematic. They are not going to be able to contest this Roshan, whether or not they
Roshan
know
has
or
fallen
they
to the
just
Radiant. Radiant's
just don't wanna
bottom
give it up.
tower is under attack.
Shard went to QOP, I think. Aegis to do so. Now, what is Spirit waiting for? How are they
Radiant's
going to handle
bottom
these
tower has
pushes?
fallen.
Are they going to keep bottom pushed in, push them
Dire's
back,
middle
or
tower
are they going
is
to
under
take
attack.
a fight in their base with buybacks? But right now, only Grimstroke and Slaughter have buyback. The rest of them have finished an item like BKB, now on
Radiant's
Sven,
bottom
and
tower
also on
is under
Storm.
attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under
3,000
attack.
net worth lead for PugChamp, but you said earlier you
Radiant's
favor their
bottom
late game.
tower
Looks like
is under
Dota Plus
attack.
does as well. 67% win probability for them. Team Spirit smoked up inside of their own
Top
triangle
tower is
and
under
going to
attack.
push through into their own jungle, but look at all the vision that is here for PugChamp.
They're smoked
Air
though,
is-
so can they get the quad?
They are going to be able to get the QOP initiation, but saved by the Legion Commander for the time being. But oh no, the Inkswell, they managed to catch him on side of the Legion Commander. That means the QOP is not going to be able to blink away until perhaps it's too late. It'll collapse, just going to be able to run down with the vision still there from the corrosive haste. Malik almost managed to catch Toronto Tokyo, but it wasn't good enough. And now Kurlat, he's going to be kind of in some trouble here as he can't quite man fight this Sven with the Inkswell stones coming in. This is a disaster. That's going to be life number 1 one and not a whole lot of backup, especially with Young G, who bought back, has already been scared away from his team fighters. He can't seem to go back in. They're going to leave this Medusa entirely alone. TSpirit found just the perfect initiation for themselves. They killed one of the big team fighters in the QOP, and then they saved the Medusa for last with that extra life. Very well played by Spirit.
Yeah, what made that happen was that ward that they planted right away. I think it was Maposhka from the smoke. Put a ward on the high ground, and they just jumped the QOP immediately. They used all their spells, and because Dusa was not in the front, the positioning they took made it so Dusa came late to the fight, the Aegis carrier, and they were able to blow all their cooldowns, and the longer the fight went, the better it was for TSpirit.
It's a little disappointing in PugChamp just because I was leading into that fight saying there's 3 different wards all in that jungle area. There's a deep mid ward, there's one on that high ground as you first enter the jungle, and then they also had another ward that was way up by the lane there just on the high ground. There was 3 different areas they could have played for a potential smoke, but instead it's the QOP who gets caught in the one area they didn't have vision.
Yeah, so like from that perspective, right? When they went off the map, they should have went to their vision and had Medusa block the smoke. If Medusa was there with the Aegis to break the smoke, I guarantee that fight goes differently. But now they have no more Aegis.
Yeah. Is there any rush if you're on TSpirit to pick up the pace of this game? You just want a team fight? Do you want to see them try and force another team fight, or are you okay with them stalling a bit?
I think in general, like for Dota, like forcing anything is kind of bad. You want to look for an opening, right? So I think what they're doing right now is they're waiting for an opening. Like that ward on mid lane right there, people show on it. There's a ward in the Radiant jungle they place there too. There's another ward that they won that team fight. If they ever see heroes there, that'll create an opening. You see they're playing behind their vision, right? There's like a wall of vision here they're playing behind. And once they show on that, and they're happy with this too, because they know they're going to outfarm them because they have such good vision here. They can only be in one spot. So running to the one area you don't have vision, as you kind of saw PugChamp do, no matter how much of an advantage you have, you can lose that fight. Yeah, so TSpirit is just going to look to play on their vision as much as possible. And once they show on this vision, then you'll see TSpirit make a move.
That's smart. It's just like very patient play from TSpirit. As you're right, especially with an IO as well, right? They're definitely going to be out farming PugChamp in these situations. They're playing 2 different parts of the map as one, 3 in triangle, and then Sven and IO pushing out the bottom lane and farming some of this area. As you said, vision nearby, so if a smoke or something breaks, they'll be able to respond pretty quickly. As a result, still another 3 minutes for potential Roshan spawn timing.
Yeah, where have these Lincolns been, right? See Collapse has one, right? This item's so good. I think most notably we're talking about recent game where we wish we saw more Lincoln Sphere. And
yeah, the Razor.
Same type of heroes, right? Yeah, same. It's a dual grip, like great item. They're just gonna throw it on top of either Storm, maybe the Sven. It's gonna make him so much stronger.
Yeah, I mean, even Collapse himself, just holding onto the Lincolns for himself could be devastating, because, like, how do you stop a BKB Lincoln Slardar? You know, he puts Corrosive Haze and just pops Mask of Madness, starts running at you. I don't know who stops that man. The smoke up from PugChamp. They're on the little bit of awkward spot here, being on the low ground, but TSpirit are not willing to take this fight, backing up to the safety of their own triangle, their own high ground.
That just shows you exactly what they're looking for, by the way. Smoke popped, instead of being an instant jump and try to be a killer, they realize they don't want to jump Dusa, right? They see Dusa. If that was any hero but Dusa, I'm sure they would go, but it's like, oh, Dusa, and they all immediately backed out instead of jumping the gun there. So they want to take these fights away from the Medusa, because they realize with the Legion behind the Medusa, with this butterfly, she is not the target. Oh, there's an Ags on the Storm. Ags, this is a classic. I remember EG was running this a lot. with Orbit and Arteezy, right? The Sven plus Storm combo. It is devastating if they come in a little bit later to the fights.
Yeah, and they've got Inkswell to be able to chain that as well. So you pull them together, Inkswell explodes, then get the Storm Hammer. That's like a ravage.
They're not dead already. Yeah.
Vacuum. Yeah.
Only Medusa might be able to last for that Inkswell stun. Normally the pool plus then everything's dead but Medusa, I think.
But now, like, PugChamp gotta be so careful with their position. They gotta be very disciplined. That may be tough for a very young crew like PugChamp, but they've certainly shown that they've had the skill to be able to pull off moves like this in the past. They've done so even in this game. They've just got to be able to keep it up here. You can see the Medusa leading the charge as the rest of the team smokes behind. Where do they go? How far do they go with them?
Are scanning.
Do they dare to step foot into the triangle? I feel like that's a little scary.
They're just praying that they jump on their Medusa. And TSpirit's like, nah, we're good. And so they're just kind of like waiting around aimlessly and getting outfarmed a little bit. But it seems they just desperately want this Medusa to get jumped. And I don't think that's going to happen. Unless Legion is either showing somewhere off on the map or dead. Because they're going to rely on this Bloodthorn coming out soon to break through the evasion of the Medusa. Until that, I don't think there's any scenario in which they will jump this Medusa, unless she is alone. But PugChamp realized they can't lose their Medusa side. Here comes the ward, and then maybe the initiation. Just a sentry, okay. So they know there's smoke there. He decided to opt for the sentry first instead of the ward. Not sure if that's the right choice. Normally you want to drop the ward first if you're smoke like that and you want to jump. Probably could have got the Legion. But instead, they were just peeking at like, oh, do they have vision here? They realize they do have vision, so they fall back.
Instead, they get a little bit more of a conservative ward right next to the Roshan pit entrance, which we are going to be fighting for in 50 seconds. So not expecting anything to happen until then, unless somebody sees an opportunity for a big smoke incursion. Gem pickup from Aposhka. I always love a good gem in these situations where you know both teams are just fighting for the right initiation, and that is all predicated on being able to have the right wards down or countering the right ward.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't seen any gems today, but whenever you're on these like standoff type of situations, the team with the gem sweeps across the map and always has a bit of an advantage. Because you know for sure that you're not under vision, or sometimes sentries don't really give you the reassurance, right? That a gem will.
Yeah, I mean it's like in a way being able to constantly make smoke movements, just because you know for sure the enemy doesn't see you. Double damage on the ground. They're gonna pass over the bottle and pick it up for Yatoro. So now, when Roshan spawns, which is right now, when they see that, they know they've got a huge window of time to be able to use this DD, whether to sneak the Roshan themselves, to force a fight around this big upgrade. There's a lot of options here for Spirit.
That was PugChamp's third smoke, just hanging around the mid lane. Like, I wonder if they have any more after that. No, they're out. Like, Roche is up. They're gonna have a standoff. There's a couple cool things you can do in this scenario. Most of it require a smoke. The Poshka doesn't have one, it looks like. Yeah, I don't see any smoke. So both teams without a smoke. Which is going to make this Roche posturing very awkward. Or they're going to do this and they're just going to, do the envy Roche.
Just commit right away with Corrosive Haze, and Roshan dies so fast that's going to be adding Cheese and Aegis. PugChamp all falls right underneath their nose and snatched away by TSpirit.
They might want to reset a little bit. Wait for God's Strength again. Go again. Wouldn't be surprised. This is a window as well for PugChamp.
Yeah, they've got tier 4 items to farm, which is what PugChamp was doing, which is maybe part of the reason TSpirit went for that opening. They win right as 37 minutes hit, and PugChamp was busy farming an Ancient stack to be able to get their tier 4s right away.
Yeah, I mean, PugChamp also had no vision of the Roche pit, right? So they were able to just walk into a smoke pool Koshka down. Probably a abandoned ship here for TSpirit.
No rush. Plenty of time to be making use of this Aegis. Meanwhile, Malik, XD, are on pauses coming in. I was curious. Do you have any fan packs that you, any lines that you're a big fan of that have recently been put out?
I honestly have not done a lot of like research on like the new lines, so I'm gonna have to go take a look.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Quinn's is
attack.
pretty good, the XT. It's really good for NA Dota.
XD, very good, very good. I will say, alliances, you know, they just went with Bulldog lines, but they're good.
Dire's
Good Bulldog
bottom
lines,
tower
they
is
fit
under
very
attack.
well.
Oh, you didn't like the S4 one from last season? Do you remember? $1 million dream coil?
I was just like, I guess that's a line you chose. Go for it. Much better. Just stick with Bulldog, doing Bulldog.
Stick with the beamers. Mass TP on the top lane. Looks like they want to fight here.
They're gonna be able to get the duel instantly onto Mira and Yatoro. It's like he didn't even notice the Io was gone. He just kept running forward. He said, "See you later, bud. You can join us in a minute's time." So PuckChamp continuing to keep TSpirit from being able to really utilize this Aegis very well. So pickoffs continue to go the way of PuckChamps.
This game is very tense. You can tell both teams the way they're moving on the map. You still have the shard yet? No. Not a big deal, but both teams are like moving on the map together a lot. It's like a game of chess where you get to like these mid-late game scenarios where your vision is so important. Everyone wants to play around it. You respect the other part of the map. And I think that's mainly because every team ran out of smokes, right? You don't really want to run to an area that the other team has vision if you don't have a smoke. So because all the smokes were blown, I don't remember what Spirit used all their smokes for, but it doesn't seem they have anymore. But I know PuckChamp used all their smokes in the mid game. That yielded to nothing, so it's turning into a bit of a turtle fest. That's what happens when you don't have this item.
Yeah, there's definitely one or two smokes from TSpirit around that Roshan time.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I'm looking at some of these support potential future items. For example, Grimstroke, Aghanim Scepter. Do you feel that one? He's got 3,000 gold in the bank right now, so he could get something big. What do you want to see?
Oh, I want to see the Ags for sure. Okay. Medusa's one of the best targets to make a copy of. Does more damage than Medusa. For some reason, it does 150% damage.
Yeah.
And when you're a hero like Dusa that has like a passive as well, split shot. Luna's the other big one, right? Mm-hmm. It's a huge item.
Ducalis, he's got 2,000 gold in his bank. He's also looking at an Aghanim Scepter, which has been a favorite, I think, of late of a lot of people. The prevalence of Bane, but also just pretty game-changing Ags for a lot of situations. Just because you're not expecting Fiend Script to ever last that long, but with the Aghanim Scepter, you can actually use it somewhat reliably.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a game changer.
Looking for me?
Look at these guys, just camped out in bottom lane. They've got themselves a ward on the high ground. The right-hand side of the map is just Legion Commander Sky, patiently waiting, seeing if anybody from TSpirit is gonna try and be a little bit greedy and push out. But TSpirit's been very disciplined, playing around each other constantly, moving, sweeping across the map as a unit, and they have not been able to use this Aegis. Gonna time out here in 5 seconds. Even as they try and make the jump now, it's only gonna be with one life on the Sven. They managed to get the pick off immediately on Ducalis, but he buys back, and now they're gonna try and catch these heroes if they can. Shadow Strike blocked by the Lincolns. Mira jumps over with the tether, but he's already been dueled up, so he's gonna be pulled back in. Another duel win. Sonic Wave goes down. Grimstroke going down, but at the same time, the jump in from the Storm Shear plus collapse following that up. They do manage to get some of these backline heroes, and now the Medusa's out of mana and just gonna get burnt away. TSpirit. I thought with the heroes dropping like that, they were just gonna give up on the team fight, but they turn on a dime, finding their initiation.
Yeah, the Grimstroke will lock down the QOP through BKB. She couldn't blink out with Sven hitting on her. It's a little a little too much of a
Radiant's
chase
middle
from
tower is under
PugChamp.
attack.
They got the IO kill. They have to imagine how static this game has been. That IO probably has buyback, right? Committed their spells. Medusa committed her stone gaze as well. The difference between like an experienced team and a team that's still learning in my eyes is like knowing when to call a team fight. I think with that stone gaze down and duel down, and all they got an IO, be happy with it, reset, and wait for your spells.
Are fortified.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think buybacks are like the biggest ruiner of an underdog team being able to claim the lead and then it getting thrown away just because they're not expecting it. It feels like a more experienced move in TSpirit. They're now going to be able to get tier 3 melee barracks, get the range on their way out with 24 seconds still left on the Medusa. Reset and just patiently wait. Now Butterfly on the Sven too with a swift flame. He is a speedy man.
A lot of agility. Yeah, Dusa
Radiant's
decided
top
to not
tower
go
is
for
under
MKB,
attack.
went for the Daedalus instead. So. The evasion is gonna pay out pretty big for him.
Yeah, this is going to result in a very awkward timing in the matchup against this Sven. I feel like you're going to be losing a lot of those 1v1s now.
Radiant are scanning.
They still have hope of winning fights. It's just they need to get the stone gaze to connect on Sven in the fight. It has to happen.
In order to do that, they may just need a good Fiend's Grip on the Sven. In order to prevent a save from the IO, it means they also need to be able to get a duel onto the IO. Just so many things that have to happen if you're TSpirit. Play a little bit more loose. Run-it heroes, throw minus armor at them.
Yeah. I think getting on top of this IO that has no buyback is the best thing they can do. Maybe save the grip for Sven. I'm not sure how diligent Collapse has been on putting the Lincolns on Sven. I assume he's been doing a good job of it, so it might be a little hard for the Bane to get that. But they do, it just adds like that extra, you know, complexity to the game that you have to think about as a player. Whenever you have these Lotus or Lincolns in the game, you're playing, you know, this Bane hero.
I'm not sure if you mentioned it. I just noticed refresher on TSpirit, so we're gonna have the double mobile RP from him.
No, it's great. It gives him great mana regen too, something the hero really enjoys.
I'm getting
mind
this.
it. You can see Toronto Tokyo TP bottom is just sweeping the map with this region to make sure nobody's hiding over here.
Yeah. Jack can make sure that everybody from PugChamp is indeed sitting in their base waiting.
Top tower has fallen.
But they're actually not. Youngji is pushing out, so he may just stumble into this if Toronto Tokyo is patient.
Oh, QOP has a Lincoln, but the interaction between Ag Storm is it no longer hits QOP by Lincoln. So they're able to jump him.
They're going to be able to grab him here. They're going to be able to refresher, do it again with the relocate coming in, and now the physical damage is there. A nice setup there from Toronto Tokyo. Just kind of read him like a book. Honestly, he like before I think Youngji even decided to go bottom, Toronto Tokyo was already there saying, you know you're going to. You know you're going to try and be efficient and get a little bit of extra farm, push out a side lane, and that's what I'm going to get you.
Yeah, it was really good. Couldn't push the lane in, but he really wanted to become starter, but
that is a duel. That is not quite going to be one because Mira, with the big heals coming out, gets collapsed all the way back up to full HP. They're going to chase after Colette and Yatoro. He's swapping in the refresher chart right now. They can go ahead and pop another round of BKB and go for the God Strength to be able to bring down the Medusa. That's just the game. That's it right there. Nothing left for PugChamp. TSpirit. It's actually kind of an even game. Within TSpirit, they just, one or two team fights, they were just